Do away with Chick-fil-A? The effort to eject the popular Christian restaurant from U.S. college campuses is unrelenting. Now students at one of America's premier Catholic institutions are saying they don't want the chain to set up shop on campus because Chick-fil-A has had donations to Christian groups. Well, here to explain more about what is happening at the University of Notre Dame is Angela Morabito. Ms. Morabito is former press secretary at the U.S. Department of Education. She currently serves as spokesperson for campus reform. Angela, it's good to talk with you again. So what in the world is going on with Chick-fil-A at Notre Dame, a Catholic university?
Well, it seems so strange that a business built on Christian principles wouldn't find a welcome home at a Christian university. But there are students at Notre Dame who are saying Chick-fil-A has to go because of its Christian identity and because of the founders' Christian beliefs. They started a petition that had about 200 signatures from students and faculty who said no to Chick-fil-A, but that's a pretty small but vocal group out of the many thousands of people who go to that school. So fortunately, the school saw the light and they said in no uncertain terms that the Chick-fil-A is going to be built, it'll be allowed to go forward, and it's great to see a school actually take a stand against the woke mob when unfortunately so many others choose to cave.
Donations to which Christian groups concern them and why?
Well, there are quite a few things like Fellowship of Christian Athletes and the Salvation Army, they say are anti-LGBTQ. But when you look at what these groups do, they have a much larger humanitarian mission that Chick-fil-A supports. If any other faith had been making donations to these groups, I bet you these same students wouldn't bat an eyelash. But because they're Christian groups, they are always under the gun, always being criticized. And it's unfortunate to see it from Christian campuses. These kids knew what they were signing up for when they went to a Catholic college. I'm a double Georgetown alum. That school is also very loud and proud about their Catholic views. No one's forced to go there. Students have a choice, and they chose to go somewhere because it has, at least in part because it has, a Christian identity. And then they show up and try to take that identity away from them. It just makes no sense.
And I understand, Angela, they also object to Chick-fil-A's non-vegan menu. Tell us about that one.
That's right. Two of these students wrote an op-ed in the school paper, and they said that Chick-fil-A is hurting the environment because they serve meat. Well, Chick-fil-A is not the only company with an impact on the environment, and trying to pin all of the world's environmental issues on Chick-fil-A is just a total joke. There's no possible way. It makes no sense. We're watching left-wing students try to influence their whole university just by spouting off talking points that aren't even true.
And I know you have about, you said 200 students, maybe 26 faculty members that have signed a letter. So what are the chances that other universities will do the same and follow suit with the students at Notre Dame, even though Notre Dame did say we're not going to relent to them?
Well, not every university has made the same choice, and campus reform has been seeing this for years. Chick-fil-A is such a lightning rod for controversy that back in 2019, we were actually looking at 7 different states that had campus Chick-fil-A controversies going on. Now, not all of them went in favor of religious freedom. Some of them said, no, Chick-fil-A can't be here. But Notre Dame is taking a very strong stand here by saying that they're going to stick with their Christian values. They're going to respect the faith of other Christians who want to live out their values on campus. And this could and should be a turning point for other schools to realize that, their Christian values are what make them special. It's what makes these schools what they are. It's not something that they should be hiding or trying, to sweep under the rug while the campus left tries to dictate what happens at the school.
And finally, Angela, I understand this didn't surprise you, I'm sure. Do you expect more of this to continue, and why is this type of thing happening on campus?
Well, it's quite telling that a very small group of left-wingers think that they can decide what other people are and are not able to eat at school. It's just a huge intrusion on freedom, and unfortunately, it doesn't surprise us. We see this at campus reform all the time, where these very small but very loud groups of people show up and they try to kick out people of faith. They try to tamp down on other students' free speech rights. So it's this sense of freedom for me, but not for thee, that but is so pervasive among certain groups on campus. But, people are waking up to this. There are parents, alumni, and students themselves who are starting to hold schools accountable and making sure they stay true to their values, making sure that they treat all students fairly, not just the loudest among them.
Well, we're glad that you and Campus Reform are on top of this and stay on top of it. Angela Morabito, it's always good to talk with you, Angela. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you, Gary. It's my pleasure.